Hi, Gemini. This is your now mid-February 2019 reading. I am so sorry. Um, life happens and you just get busy and then you don't get these things done. So I kind of said the same thing to the water signs. I won't do it again. Well, maybe I will, who knows, but I will do my best to try and get these out on time. So I'm using the Fountain Tarot this time. And so similar format as last time, we're going to do a general, like what's going on right now, and then we're going to break it down week by week. So I guess we'll kind of go do a review, into what just happened, but then we'll focus on the remaining 2 weeks. I know, like for me and what's going on in my own life, it's like I'm very anxious to know what it is that we're doing. We just started Pisces season today, so happy birthday to Pisces. Well, I guess this isn't the right video for it, right? Okay, so let's see. All right, if you guys see me fidgeting a lot, it's because I hurt my back. It's still not feeling better. So I am fairly restless with that. Okay. So what we have going on right now, in the recent past, we have the Star. Currently, we are the Three of Swords. We have 10 of Coins in the near future, 5 of Wands underneath, and where we are in our emotional space. And then we have the Sun, which is where we are in our headspace. So I can definitely attest to this reading. This is 100% how I feel. Well, maybe like 40% how I feel. So in our recent past, we had the Star, so everything's kind of falling into place. Everything is definitely being divinely guided. And so any and all things that you are experiencing at this time, be it good, be it based off of your own perspective, it could be bad. It could be, a struggle, could be a challenge, or, it could be new opportunities, movements, whichever. The point of the matter is that it's exactly where you needed to be, when you needed to be there. It's exactly how you needed to feel. There's like no question about it. And you kind of had that thinking like, this is exactly what I've been asking for. Like, I understand why I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing, etc. Right? So moving into where we are now, we are the Three of Swords. So something happened, perhaps a separation because of the Star, or not because of the Star, but given that we just had divine timing. It's also Aquarius, so you may be dealing with an Aquarian energy, maybe a separation, a breakup, or something like that. But now we are sad. There's some kind of pain here, and perhaps it was, and honestly, like it just doesn't make really any sense. And it's kind of like a read for myself. Like, if everything is exactly where it's supposed to be at all times, I personally don't necessarily believe in mistakes, right? Everything happens for a reason. It's just kind of like maybe you wanted it to happen faster or differently, or you had this expectation and it wasn't what you needed or wanted, or it wasn't what you wanted, but it is what you needed. Because then in our near future, we have the 10 of Coins. So this is what the Three of Swords looks like, right? And then you had like the Star. And so you'll see the progression of sunlight from it being dark to for some reason, I'm thinking like deliverance, like some kind of journey just happened, a trajectory that kind of leads you to this. It's a little bit gloomy, but not as dark as a Star. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles here, which is, I mean, obviously like happiness and abundance and opportunities and cycles that are being completed. And so you're being fulfilled, you feel fulfilled, you're doing well, your credit's going up, your bank account's getting fatter, so is your wallet, things like that, right? It could be a relationship that ends up coming together. There are trees in the background of this card. And so I'm kind of thinking like this is kind of like the seasons, like we're just kind of going through, the days are now getting longer, the days are getting warmer, and so there's more sunshine, there's probably rain depending on where you are, maybe even snow in certain parts of the country, but it's like it's just getting nicer, right? Like we're getting closer to spring, we're getting closer to summer. And then like in our headspace we have the Sun. So that tells me it's like that it's there. You know that it's there, but then let's go over to where we are emotionally. There's internal conflict. Why are you fighting yourself? Why are you blocking your own blessings? At myself. God. Let's get some clarifiers, yeah? So the reason for your sadness is because you had the expectation of a relationship that didn't end up happening. The thing about it is that the relationship is still there. So what is it that you're actually sad about? I'll tell you in a second here. There is a possibility that your focus is on the wrong thing. You know, so it's just like if you're focusing so much on a desired end result in a relationship, maybe what you really need to be focusing on is your money, right? So we have the 7 of Wands that also popped out, clarifying the 10 of Coins. And so the 7 of Wands definitely came up for a lot of signs in the month of January and for a couple for this round. So we still have that kind of like me against the world feel. But, I mean, this guy is like not, he doesn't look concerned at all. Like, he's chilling. He's like for Sparta, you know? So that's definitely, you know, moving forward. See, that's the thing. Like, that moving forward, this is the energy that you're going to have because you probably see the 10 of Coins. And you're just like, no, I'm not going to let, you know, some mediocre or like something that I thought I needed or whichever, like some idea, I'm going to let that go and I'm just going to take what's mine. Right? My nails look bomb. In the water sign videos, it looks so bad. I just needed to. Okay. So we have the 9 of Wands and then the 5 of Wands. So there's potentially fire energy. Or it could be that there's action that you want to take emotionally, but perhaps you just don't know how to. You're definitely defensive. There's conflict. There's so much emotional conflict here. What is happening? And then let's clarify the Sun. We have the Page of Cups. Okay, so this is something romantic. You were distracted by a person or a relationship of some kind, maybe a friendship, and it didn't turn out the way you thought it would. This doesn't make sense. It's like you're like sad, but it's still there. This is really one of those like, what are you sad about? There's an offer that you're expecting or wanting to give. There's a new beginning that you want to have emotionally. And you feel like you have it because you have the Sun here. Okay. So it's one of those things where it's like you don't feel it, but you know that it's there. So it's a disconnect between like your heart and your mind. And that's why there's all this conflict. So potentially what's going to happen is, because the 10 of Cups was clarified to the 3 of Cups, you may just shift your focus and think about all of the things that you have in your life right now that are the source of your happiness. And that's going to trickle over to the 10 of Pentacles. And then you're going to be like, hell yeah, this is mine. I'm taking it, like it's my prize. I'm not going to let anybody stop me. Probably because of this heartbreak that you experienced, potentially for no reason. Okay, and it's like, look, I'm a Gemini. I get it. This happens to me too. You know, Gemini tends to overthink, and they're mutable, right? So like it's very easy to go, well, you know, there's this that happened, and okay, well, you know, I see this side or whichever, right? Depending on your other placements, that it could be better or more of that kind of indecision, but being able to see several sides. So, you know, it could be something like that, or you know, you just want to let things go, and you're not very happy about it, but you know that it's necessary to let these new things come in. And so, you know, at the time, it might seem like it's a huge deal and it's so sad, because something that I just realized here, it's like, so the coloring here is kind of like green, and then here it's a little bit more pink. So there's a possibility you were looking at things through rose-colored glasses. I'm going to at myself one more time, because it literally just happened to me, right? So it's almost like you take them off and then you're just like, ta-da, it's totally fine. You know, maybe there were several people that you were considering, and there was one that you wanted, and then it ended up not being a thing. So let's hop over to the rest of the other one. It's very interesting and a little bit funny, because I was crying about it the other day. Okay. Okay, so the structure for this is we have a card at the top, which is where we are mentally for the month of February, and then we have a card at the bottom. We literally have 2 weeks left of this month, so I'm going to draw hella clarifiers for the last 2 weeks. Okay. All right. Where we're at the bottom is emotionally, and then each card in the middle is of the week, and we'll draw clarifiers as we see fit, right? Also, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Definitely subscribe so that you can be there for the next round of videos coming up. I will definitely start recording sooner. Okay, here we go. I want to say there's 4 weeks in February, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. Okay. Oh. Funny. Okay. So we have, this is not funny. We have at the top of the spread the page of coins. So we're thinking about money, we're thinking about new opportunities, new job, potentially a new role. Maybe we're just recently promoted. Congrats. Then at the bottom, we've got the King of Swords. So you're not, excuse my language, fucking around this month or for the remainder of the month, right? Since we're focusing on the last 2 weeks, you're over it to a certain extent, where like you're not about to take anybody's BS at all. You're going to be like, what's up, right? So what I'm thinking is, since the first one was more general, like organizing the shit drawer, we decide to take on this, or you've decided to take on this kind of approach of looking at things logically, kind of like a like logical father figure, kind of, right? Where it's like you go and you're crying over to them and you're just like venting, and they're like, what's the problem? Like, what are you bitching about? I don't get it, right? So that's kind of like what you're going to be doing, potentially to yourself. Maybe not even to other people. Like, go scold yourself. I do this, right? We're just like, well, what were you thinking? They told you day one, right? I'm like, I'm clearly very in my feelings. So, you know, we're just going to bond over this, my lovely Gemini family. So, week one, we had strength, right? So there's some situation with a Leo, perhaps. There, maybe you started off the month and it was a little bit difficult. You were just kind of like, I need to get through this. Ship hasn't sunk yet, kind of thing. So that's what we were looking for first week. The following week, we have the Two of Swords. So the strength card, I'm wondering, it's like I feel like you kind of saw this coming. The second week of February, which would have been the week that just passed, was rough. You're not really sure what's going on. You're not quite sure what to do. Stuck between two people, stuck between two options, two choices, decisions, whichever. But you know, this woman is blindfolded, so it's like almost like, okay, you're doing too much of a balancing game where you can't truly see which one is the obvious better thing for you. And it looks like what happens the following week, so this week, is that you are taking some time to yourself or dealing with a Virgo. But I want to say it's more time to yourself so that you can figure out how to not be here again. I'm getting frustration. A lot of frustration. Like, why? Like the big, like just like a why? What are you doing? Right? Because the way that this goes is like we start with strength and end with Seven of Wands. In the middle, we're really dark. So it's like we start super light, we get confused, we get lost along the way, we stumble, whichever, we don't really know what's going on. I'm thinking bird box for some reason. Well, actually, it's because the woman's blindfolded. So, disregard. Then we finish off with the Seven of Wands. So something happens in the middle of the month. Probably this Three of Swords that we saw in the earlier spread, where, you know, you're just like lost, confused, not sure which direction, impatient, expecting but not receiving, you know, that kind of thing. It was just like, where's my food? You know, like, where's my stuff? Why isn't it here? Why am I not getting what I want? Right? It's like, why, like, I'm manifesting, I'm doing the work, I'm like working on myself, I'm letting go of whichever it is that I'm praying, and there's nothing. Crickets, right? So then what ends up happening is the last week, you're just like, no, I'm just gonna go get it. Like, why am I waiting? Right? Okay, let's get clarifiers. I'm like, my heart's like racing, and it's like there's this excitement. So it's almost just like you were isolating yourself a little bit, either actually isolating yourself or more just kind of like keeping to yourself, you know, still going out places and talking to your friends and stuff. It made me just like not being totally out there with the things that you're experiencing at this time. And then there's that transition. So you have two major arcana here, and there's like major arcana, and then you have two of swords. Major arcana, and then the seven of wands, right? You have the page on the top and then the king at the bottom. But we have that going on. So as a clarifier, we have the nine of cups with the hermit. So, you know, I'm going to get another clarifier for the two of swords too. So the queen of wands, so nine of cups. And then the seven of wands is going to clarify for seven of wands. Page of cups again. Okay. It's almost like you know what's happening. Like, you know what's going to happen. And there may not even be a point of a reading, is what I'm getting right now. Because the page of cups and then the seven of wands that were in our original spread come up again towards the end of February. There's also the possibility that we are going through the same energy the entire month. There's no change. It's almost like fixated. Okay, so I drew a clarifier for the two of swords and I have the queen of wands. So there was a decision that you needed to make where you would have potentially been like the one on top or like the boss or whichever, like you would have needed to take charge, but perhaps there was a hesitation of, I'm not sure if I can, I'm not sure if I want to, maybe there was a communication that you should have had but you didn't. Following that, we've got the hermit, right? So it's like after this, after the two of swords clarified by the queen of wands, there could also be a fire sign female that you may have been dealing with. The following week we have the hermit, and then we have the nine of cups that is clarifying it. So there's this sense of isolation, but then you're just like, okay, I may have been trying to find my happiness elsewhere. I need to look within, which is the nine of cups, right? This person is really happy with their own sustainability. However, this does have a dark side where you have everything that you need except for the partner that you would have liked to share it with, right? So it's like money isn't the answer to all things kind of vibe is a possibility here. But worry not, fret not, because we have these two, right? So there's an offer that you are going towards. You are chasing this offer. You're going for the person that you're into. You're going for the job. You're applying for more places. You're interviewing. There's a new beginning, right? And this whole time, you're just like, no games, my friend, because this is where I am in my emotions. So play if you'd like, you know? But like, I won't participate. It's kind of the vibe. Not kind of, it is the vibe. So let's go. I have the four of swords here. So clarifying this last week, and then let's do one more for the hermit. Or the third week of February. How did last month go, by the way? Did you do good? I had fun. Ace of coins. Ooh! Oh, okay. Okay, no, it makes sense. Something happens the third week, so it would be this week, essentially. And suddenly you're just like chilling, right? Okay. So we go from this very dark card, the Hermit, to like sunshine and daisies practically. Look at that. This guy's chilling. Chilling. Okay, so we have the Ace of Coins and then we have the Nine of Cups. So potentially a new opportunity, new job, windfall of money, you find money, you get paid, you get your tax returns, something like that. And then that kind of gets you out of the gunk that you were in. And then you're just like, okay, I'm going for everything that I want. I'm going for this new thing. I'm going for this relationship. I'm going for this person. It could be a younger water sign, perhaps a kid. Maybe this has something to do with kids. And then we have the Four of Swords that is clarifying the Seven of Wands and then the Page of Cups. So you're tired towards the end of the month, but it could be because there was emotionally exhausting. That could very well be it, because you've got the King of Swords down here, but then like there's all this other stuff that was happening in the month of February, so many feelings and thoughts and confusion, not really sure which way to go, spending some time to like go within and like really understand like why am I feeling this way. And then towards the end of the month, February, because the Friday is March 1st. So then, at that point you're just like, man, like this whole month, like I'm just gonna do what I want. I'm just gonna get what I want, and I'm gonna have it, and I'm gonna love it, and then I'm gonna chill, right? But it's like it's more action oriented. It's not so much confusion, right? Because I'm kind of and I don't mean actually it could be emotionally exhausting, but now that I'm thinking about it, it might be more mentally exhausting because of all of the doubts and the confusion and the back and forth that you were experiencing. Because we've got these two and the Seven of Wands, and then we have the Cups, so it's not anything material. We have this one, and the guy's tired. So, mentally, you probably just want to take a break. Okay, let's do, it was a little bit all over the place, but I think that was a good reading. That was definitely a good reading. It's kind of just like, don't worry, it's fine. You'll get out of it. You'll get through it. You'll get through it. Okay, love. What's going on with love? That didn't seem so much, the one that we just did, I mean, you may or may not be in a relationship, but I don't know that that was the main focus, right? I want to say that it's more internal. Like, for me, there's some kind of relationship situation, but it's not, like if I had to choose, it wouldn't be my priority. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, it's what I'm getting from that reading that we just did. Although the first one definitely was relationship oriented, I feel. Not necessarily for everybody, of course, but there was that part. Okay, first card is calling in your soulmate. So if you are single or in a relationship, this may apply to you. If you are in a relationship, then you may be wanting to get back to, the good days, when you like the honeymoon phase, right? Some of you may be getting married. Haha, that's funny because then the wedding card comes up. What? Amazing. I know a friend who is a Gemini moon and she is getting married. I am not getting married. Finances and career is your third card. Okay, so in what we have from the Romance Oracle, we have calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together, followed by wedding. The situation involves marriage. So you may have found the one. You may be talking to, dating, have been in a situationship with, dating, or in a serious relationship with, committed, engaged, or married. You could be renewing vows, right? You also have finances and career that follows the two that I just mentioned. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So given that, in the week by week spread that we just did, I'm gonna have to wrap this up real quick. But in the week by week spread that we just did, I did notice that we didn't have like Two of Cups. We didn't have the Lovers. Like we didn't have things that indicated like a stronger relationship reading, and it's also not what I was channeling. So I want to say that if you are in a long-term serious relationship with somebody, you may be talking about your money. There may be things that you need to save up for, or there have been big expenses lately, and that may be putting a strain, or it could be, strengthening your relationship because you may actually be talking about it, right? And then for those of you that are single and not getting married or are married or anything like that, like you're not committed, you're looking for that and it is coming to you this month. However, you do not perhaps see it yet because you're worried about your money. So don't worry about it. This person that is meant for you is meant for you. You can't mess that up. It is unfuckable. Unfuckwithable. And so you have nothing to worry about if your mind is on your paycheck and not changing your last name. So that is your reading for mid-month February, most of February. So we'll see what happens in March. Happy Pisces season. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.